We can see docking stations like EV charging stations on highway.
Yeah,
So fun.
the question is it really necessary?
We still don't have Starlink here in India, but it will be
You
great.
think it will
But
come
again,
to India?
airlines will find another header to charge their customers.
So Intel is failing with their business endpoints.
Have already laid off 15% of their workforce.
My God, that's quite.
Exactly.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Tech Gappa, which is the first ever tech podcast show in India, wherein we discuss tech in a simplified way. And you ask why we do it? Simple. We are technically nerds. So now, I was just reading yesterday that or rather, ISRO has launched
Mm.
SpaDeX, which is like basically two satellites in
Mm-hmm.
space. So
Wow.
a lot of people are talking, a lot of media houses are also covering this particular thing. And I particularly thought that, we should also have a, a casual discussion like we are doing right now. So actually, oh, wait, actually, I have an idea. I have this friend. I
Mm-hmm.
can just ask him. Okay, let me just ask him. So he has done his master's from physics. So, and also he's a big physics nerd. So
Okay.
Yeah,
he's one of us.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Let me just ask if he can join the meeting. Anish,
Anish is there.
Hi everyone.
what's up?
Hello.
What's up?
I'm fine. How are you?
All good, all good. We were actually discussing about the ISRO and all the updates on SpadeX
Oh
launching the two
yeah.
satellites and everything. So
Okay.
ISRO has launched this SpadeX, and I'm
Yes.
referring this to space.com website. So India
Okay.
launches two SpadeX satellites on ambitious space docking test for future moon mission space station. So actually, it really, at a glance, it really looks amazing because, of course, space station and moon mission, because we are waiting for the Gaganyaan. And
Yes.
also we have also I heard someone saying we also plan to launch International Space Station just like NASA.
Yes.
So this people are saying this is a big achievement or big step towards it, but we are no experts. Or I am no expert because we belong to embedded systems and everything. So we thought that, maybe someone from physics background or someone who is nerd from that background
Yeah.
uh, can
I
help us
mean,
understand this better. Yeah,
I'm no expert for sure, but yeah, I can try to say a few. I think
yeah,
this whole mission or the project is going to be
sure, sure.
extremely useful for us, for
Mhm.
ISRO as well as anybody doing space research.
Okay,
So what I've read so far is so we are going to be the fourth country who is able to demonstrate such a mission of space docking. But
okay,
along with that, uh, as you can see in the article also, I think you can take it a slightly up. There you
yeah.
can see that it is the first autonomous operation that is to be demonstrated. We are going to be the first ever country to do that autonomously.
So no other country has done it
No, no,
autonomously.
no, no.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So it is going to be very useful in the sense that for our future missions, for example, Chandrayaan 4, which we also plan
Hmm. Hmm.
in the near future. So uh, what they're trying to demonstrate here is the fact that uh, when a satellite is launched into space, or when a satellite takes a spacecraft into space, then once it's in the lower circular orbit of the Earth, it's there rotating around the Earth. So there, if you want, that can be used as a power source, okay,
Okay.
for the other satellites, so that a satellite can reach, take some power from it, and then use that power as an external fuel to reach for further distances than what we can push it towards.
So
So
just sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
just
yeah.
like we see jets refueling or
Yes,
In air.
planes refueling in the
Yeah,
midair.
something similar when it comes to power dynamics. So if we have a spacecraft and you have a station or it is like a satellite hovering around Earth,
Okay.
and then you have the spacecraft that will we want to launch. It will go, it will reach, it will dock itself. So docking is basically joining, it will align itself with the
Okay.
already ro revolution rotating satellite, and it will so basically all the charging and everything will be done on that.
Mm-hmm.
So these basically these two satellites that they launched, this was just a demonstration, okay? These are not going to be
Okay.
the main platform for which other future missions are going to be there. So these two
Yeah.
spacecrafts will essentially right now there will be both of them, either of them I would say. One is going to be called the target, okay, which is
Mm-hmm.
going to go first, and then there is going to be a chaser.
Okay.
So once the target has reached, after around there will be a difference of somewhere around a few kilometers between them, and then we'll demonstrate how both of them, how the chaser will approach the target. But so it's quite technically difficult to think about it since they are also going to be rotating around the earth. Okay,
Okay.
so you will see that the chaser has to align itself along with the timing, also with the angle and
Angle of
everything,
the
so
So
that
the path
Yeah.
path has to be
path has
traced
to be
correctly.
aligned. Yes, exactly. And the
Yeah.
speeds have to also match correctly so
Uh,
that there is a smooth transition from the rotation to the docking, that is aligning itself with the other spacecraft.
yep.
Okay.
So when both of them will be aligned properly, then we'll also demonstrate that they can actually, the target will uh, give its power, electrical power transfer basically will be demonstrated, which is also probably the first, as far as I've heard, that is the first of its kind, this kind of demonstration of power. And
Okay.
this technology will be useful all over the world. I mean, not only for ISRO, but for other space agencies also.
So do we plan to make this like public available in public domain? I'm
I
not, when I say
mean,
public domain, available to the other countries as well.
I guess we can, or I would say we should, because the technology is something. If I would have to say in this that it doesn't matter which country actually progresses into space sciences, because that is something that everybody across the globe has a unique goal towards. Okay,
Hmm.
so development in the field of space technology and understanding our universe better, I would say it should not be a country specific mission or a country specific target. If anybody is able to do it better, we should just grasp on that technology and try to develop it further.
That's interesting.
So
Let me just see. Uh, you said we are the fourth one
yeah,
to do this. Who are the, let me check who are the first three countries to achieve this.
I think America has to be one of them, and China.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it is Russia is the third country to do it, but I guess it's Russia. But you can just check once.
Yeah, US, Russia, and China
Yeah,
have the ability to carry out docking of two spacecrafts or satellites in outer space. But I think, yeah, India becomes fourth nation to achieve. Yeah, let me just pull out an Economic Times article over here. They say it's actually it looks quite interesting actually. Damn these ads. Yeah. So let me just read it. India becomes fourth nation to achieve space docking with indigenously developed Bharatiya docking system. Okay.
yeah.
Uh, Synopsis. ISRO chairman S. Somnath announces the launch of NVS-02 satellite and emphasizes the significance of docking for the Chandrayaan 4 mission with multiple space missions for 25. Nice. It actually makes or the thing which makes it interesting is the fact that it will be completely autonomous and
Yes.
uh, all the transfers, maybe some data transfer, some power transfer or anything
Yeah.
uh, is done in autonomous manner.
Yeah.
And also we can if this is the case, I mean we can simply send some satellite. Maybe I'm wrong here, but maybe we can, like you said, targets. So what we can do is we can send the targets and make them stationary,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we can use it as the nodes for maybe, and from a business standpoint we can charge other countries to use
Yeah, yeah.
technology.
That is
Yeah.
what I was.
The whole
That is
point
what I
is
was
that
trying to
only, I
say.
believe, because we
Yeah.
are cutting down the dependencies over here,
Yeah.
first of
Yeah.
all, for India, because there is a need to go and have the docking station there.
Yeah.
And we can actually charge other countries as well to make
Yeah.
the revenue out of it. So that is I think so, that is the mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Even
which actually makes, yeah, Sumedh.
yeah, so just so I'm no expert either, but having a geostationary satellite such as that target, it would be really useful if we have like multiple targets there, and then you have certain specific satellites which can, change the orbits as necessary. If you have this autonomous feature, and on a business standpoint, if you make this technology available to the other countries, it's a big boost for the economy here as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because we are launching all these things, or rather we are developing all like all sorts of technologies in rupees. So it's always profitable because we would be charging maybe in USDs, or rather for that matter, uh, I don't want to sound too political, but uh, people are trying to do transactions in INR, or rather the government is imposing, or rather compelling other countries to make transactions in Indian rupees than US dollars. But nonetheless, if at all it is boosting the economy, it will uh, be a good business tactic as well, or other business avenue for that matter. So, like, hey, we have 10 targets placed somewhere at XYZ location, and you can use it for X number of hours or X number of days, and
Yeah.
you can pay us this much rupees or this much amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can always happen. But um, I also read about Chandrayaan 4. I'm just moving slightly away from what we are initially discussing. But Chandrayaan 4, I guess we plan to carry moon soil samples back to Earth. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Is
have
that
read
what I
that.
mean? I have read that, but I'm not very sure about the other missions related to Chandrayaan 4. This is one of the
Mm.
mission, but I'm pretty sure that it is not going to be the only mission,
Mm.
Chandrayaan 4.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because uh, v- I mean, we are really a small, we are minuscule when we compare
Yeah.
ourselves to ISRO scientists and all the people. But of course, they have given it a brief thought about this particular milestone. So kudos to all the scientists, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see how it will help in our further
Yes.
missions. Of course, it will. I mean, I'm very pretty much confident about it.
And I mean,
But
one added advantage about this is also that so this not only serves as like we mentioned like a docking system for power transfers for other satellites because so if I want a satellite to go further distances like for example other interplanetary missions okay like we have reached Mars if we want to be able to achieve further distances it's rather difficult because of the entire fuel and everything
Yeah.
dependency but if we have a docking station which can actually serve as a power transfer station or there are so many technical aspects to it that you need to have satellite servicing because we have so many satellites and once the mission is over the satellite just keeps on
Keeps on.
revolving around
yeah,
the earth okay
that's a space
so
debris. Yeah.
yeah so these stations can also be used as satellite servicing stations and you can have in space robotics that is being performed autonomously, which is a big deal as if we think about it. So I
So
think
we,
this is a very
just
good.
to, I mean, just to relate it with a really basic example, this is just top of my head. We can see docking stations like EV charging stations on highway.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's pretty much like it, right? Because uh EVs need charging. So
yeah. So imagine having a service station at a highway where you can also charge your EV. If there is a technical problem, you can also service your EV or service
yeah,
your car, whatever. So it is something like that
AV
in
owners
that's
space.
always used to find out the dockings.
always,
Always,
always.
always.
Yeah,
Okay, so now that just we'll just wrap it up here and
Yeah.
just to summarize here. So we are the fourth nation after US, Russia, and China to do this, and first nation to do it
autonomy.
autonomously. So that's a big achievement here by ISRO scientists. So kudos to and a
Yeah.
great applause to the scientists there. Uh, Secondly, it is going to, or rather, as scientists are saying that it will help in the man on moon mission as well as Chandrayaan 4 and future all the missions. So that's one thing. That's great. Also, speaking of satellites, now I'm just moving away. I read a news about Starlink V3, which has recorded 1 Tbps download data
Oh,
speed and 160 Gbps upload speed. So now let me just pull out this article here. I was stunned by just reading that article. I mean, it's crazy to achieve this speed, and they say it's version 3 of Starlink.
okay.
So yeah, so it's like SpaceX. Wait a second. Yeah. So uh, SpaceX teases 1 Tbps of download bandwidth on V3 Starlink satellites. So, which is useful of all. Okay, we can. Uh, can you see it in
Just
a
zoom
bigger
in.
format? No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not able to zoom in. Okay,
Okay.
anyways,
It's okay.
the
We can.
V3 Starlink satellite will be optimized for launch by SpaceX's Starship vehicle. Uh, Planned to add 60 Tbps of capacity to the Starlink network, more than 20 times the capacity added with every V2 Mini launch on Falcon 9. V3 Starlink satellite will have 1 Tbps of downlink speeds and 160 Gbps of uplink capacity. Again, capacity, great wordplay.
Yeah,
It's not the speed, but it's the capacity,
exactly.
which is more than 10 times the downlink and 24 times the uplink capacity on the V2 Mini Star. So I don't know, and they have gone detail into uh, combined RF laser capacity, etc. So for all the nerds, they are using next generation computers, modem beamforming and switching. So tech nerds from communication fields, shout out SpaceX. Just take a look at this. So yeah, I mean, again, it's capacity, but
Yeah,
it's still 160 gigabits per second of upstream available. It's crazy.
that is quite a lot. And if you see that right now, I don't think so. There are going to be like thousands and thousands of users for Starlink compared to say regular internet providers. I think they'll benefit a lot if they deploy this whenever they deploy this because everyone is going to like the end users will be no matter what bandwidth limitations they might have, they might be able to achieve the maximum speed that they can get. So. The end
Yeah,
users right now are going to be like quite happy.
yeah, of course. I mean, looking at the numbers, I was sold out.
Yeah.
But but still, it still needs to be introspect that and what are the actual speeds and what is the actual uplink bandwidth available.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean terabits per second. Oh hell yes, welcome. I just can't imagine the reduced latency on gaming and all my data downloads or for that matter media downloads would be crazy fast.
But I don't think so. It will be deployed to the consumer level. I doubt. So
Don't know. That needs to be checked upon.
yeah,
Yeah.
So um yeah, they have mentioned some details about 60 V3 Starlink satellites per launch, etc. Will allow the system to scale considerably in the most congested parts of network, improve the
we
uplink
we were
downlink
able to
capacity.
deliver the gigabit connectivity to individual user terminals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's still gigabit.
It's going to be bigger, but yeah.
Yeah. So you don't. Yeah.
So
You
we
just
can,
be amazed with
yeah, I
the
mean,
figures and numbers, but
yeah,
reality,
Yeah.
all you can get is only gigabit speeds.
Yeah, but I think so. Like
of
this,
course, yeah.
uh, Starlink is supposed to just provide you with at least the gigabit speeds in remote places, right? After all,
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the main goal.
That is the main goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So as of now,
Reachability of the network. That is the main goal.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of videos on YouTube wherein people, specifically in the US, because I have seen videos from that particular region, uh, they have this RV and camping culture there. They it's like a caravan in India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just get their caravan, they just go off in a remote area. They just place a Starlink antenna outside of their caravan and they upload all their YouTube videos in 4K high res.
Uh, yeah.
So that's the big. The only thing is that because Starlink comes with a dish, so for just to give it a glance, Starlink is a network providing company, internet providing company, launched by SpaceX or Tesla. I think SpaceX.
Some of the SpaceX, right? Like
SpaceX.
So basically
the
Elon Musk.
deployment. Yeah.
Basically Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Basically Elon Musk. So it's like a private satellite connected internet service launched by Elon Musk. I think it's SpaceX that needs to be checked. Can someone check in the background by the time we are just
Yeah.
discussing?
I'll give it a go.
Uh, so it comes with a dish antenna, just like our Tata Sky or Dish TV or Airtel Express. You get the point. Just like a dish, but it has to be kept on the ground on the flat surface and pointing towards the sky. So only thing is that uh, it should be placed in a clear, no obstacle environment. So if there are branches coming in between the path of dish and satellite, it will obstruct your speeds. So it needs to be placed in an open area, the dish, and then there's a wire running out from it and connected to some terminal, which then decodes or converts the communication signals to your laptop or to an access point, which gives or to simplify a Wi-Fi router.
Yeah.
So that's the whole scenario. So I've seen a lot of people using Starlink over there. I've also seen a lot of memes from cats because in high or rather in northern regions of US where it snows a lot, people people have kept their Starlink dishes outside. So to avoid snow accumulation in the dish, Starlink has got some heating mechanism. So
Hmm.
cats go and sit in that dish. So that's just a meme I saw. But
That's cute.
yeah, that's cute. But yeah, so from that, from thinking from that point of view, like Starlink can people are using Starlink in remote areas. So we still don't have Starlink here in India, but it will be
You
great.
think it will
But
come
again,
to India?
no, but
That's the question.
again, no privacy concerns, data privacy, because whatever I'm streaming or rather whatever the network access which I have is directly from the satellite. So there is a network provider technically, but again, security concerns.
Yeah.
There is another aspect also, apart from the security, business standpoint.
Yeah. Like
So,
you already have such higher
so we have a
bandwidth.
giant in our country as well. They will not,
Correct.
I
Yeah.
think so. They will do their best to avoid that. So,
Yeah, but strangely, I was on a trip to Gujarat recently. Uh, I was in Run of Kutch. So people sort of normally stay there in tents and everything because it's a white sand desert. But I saw a lot of caravans uh, roaming across right from Tamil Nadu,
mm,
coming straight from Uttarakhand, Delhi.
yeah,
People are driving. What I mean to say is that people are using caravans also here in India. People have converted Isuzu pickup trucks.
yeah.
People have attached tents. So I mean, yeah, and there are a lot of black spots in India wherein we don't find any network. So yeah, I mean, like you said, Mohit, uh, do you think they will come to India? Chances are very slim.
I have a very different type of question, if anybody knows. Like, so they must have some constraint on the size of, uh, I mean, the disk satellite that the caravans, the people in the caravans, they carry their dish, as you mentioned. So, can that size be reduced to such
I
an
don't know.
extent
So
that,
that
mountain bikers or bikers can actually carry it with them? Something
so
of that
actually
sort.
that is I mean we can have a discussion about that at a later on stage because
Yeah,
that completely is under the development or what can we say. It's all, I mean, it has both pros and cons. I mean, is the company willing to do that?
yeah,
And how much penetration will they get in that particular market?
yeah,
So
yeah,
again, it's a question to be thought upon.
yeah.
It's basically the business model they what they thought about. It is
Yeah.
Yes,
it is depending on that how they develop.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that will be another topic for another session, I think so, Amok.
yeah,
So we can
Yeah,
actually
we can
take a
noted,
note and yeah.
yeah.
Most definitely.
noted,
Yeah.
noted, completely noted. Now, just I mean, I'm just switching to hopping on so much, but now that we are discussing about Starlink, have you read about the Qatar Airlines news as well with the Starlink? So Qatar Airways back in I think November or December, Qatar Airways uh, had a collaboration with Starlink specifically, and they launched first Boeing 777 in the world equipped with Starlink uh, modem, you can say, or receivers, so that they can provide in-flight Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I mean, and also on the similar lines, now Air India is not collaborating with Starlink, but Air India is also into in-flight Wi-Fi
Yeah. It'll be,
connections.
I think so. It will be like high speed Wi-Fi, right? In this case, because there are some few mediums where they have sort of hotspots and stuff available in the planes. But I think this Starlink will provide like really high speed internet to all the passengers. Yeah.
परत किती वाजले? Yeah,
Just pause for 2 minutes, then
Yeah,
we
you
will start.
paused for a while.
yeah. No, no, that's okay. I
It's
was
okay.
able to listen. I mean,
Yeah,
hear all
yeah,
the things. हाँ
yeah.
हाँ हाँ,
That's good.
completely fine.
Okay, you can restart.
But main, yeah, main thing is that mm, we often hear कृपया अपना phone flight mode पे रखे is all because of the interference that should be avoided. I mean the communication between pilots and the ATC tower. Normally, this is only true for cellular connections, right? So we can't use mobile data. But if at all we are getting Wi-Fi directly, no matter how costly it will, I mean, airlines will find another header to charge their customers.
But I
Most
mean, the
definitely.
question is it really necessary?
Yeah.
Like,
No, no. Answer is
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Apart from say emergencies or like very important
Yeah,
somethings, I don't think so. You should provide that much connectivity, you
No,
know.
it will be useful for the longer flights,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, maybe, definitely,
Most
but
definitely, yeah.
no,
not for
definitely.
the like like
Delhi
Delhi to
cases.
Bangalore or Delhi to
yeah.
Mumbai or
Even
something.
No, no.
4 hour
No,
flights, 4 to 5 hour flights. I don't think it's that
Yeah.
needed, I would
Yeah,
say.
but it's always like you just create a need and you
Yeah,
can charge.
yeah. I mean,
That's
yeah,
yeah.
the motto.
You create a
maybe,
problem for a
maybe,
solution. It's something.
Yeah.
Correct.
They're just tapping into the hype market.
I
yeah,
know, I know.
exactly. So what people will think is that, you know what, Qatar has this in-flight Wi-Fi service and it is Starlink equipped and everything. So people will go behind that.
Uh-huh.
But like Anish, you said, is it really necessary for 4 hour flight? I mean, yes, it in long haul flights like Singapore Airlines is operating what New Delhi, New York flight for a 16, 18 hours. So yeah, please give in Wi-Fi service over there. And I recommend them, or rather, please give it as a complimentary service.
Yeah.
16 to 18 hour long haul flight is not a joke.
No, no.
So please do that. But not at all for 8 hour. I don't think 8 hour flight or 4 hour flight. We really need Wi-Fi service.
Yeah.
It's anyways costly. What, $15, $20, Anish?
Yeah,
Have you ever used
I've
it? I
never
mean,
paid for it, but yeah. I mean, usually I prefer to go offline whenever I'm taking a flight because why do we need to communicate? Is that
yeah.
is that is why my question arose. That is where my question arose from.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually true that it's not needed as of now
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
short
for the
flights.
short duration flights, yeah.
Once we start discussing whether we really need this or we don't need this, we'll just go directly into psychology stuff.
Yeah, yeah, of course. All is connected.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we always discuss like internet of everything. Like Amogh certainly would discuss. He's into that. But when you say internet of everything, everything's connected. Do we really need to be connected so much? We do need breaks and like we were discussing the Starlinks and their target audience for now, like people who go to these remote regions
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
shoot video. So I do understand if you're a creator going to such places and want to get your content out, yeah, definitely you need something like a Starlink to have those speeds. But say you're a person who's every day connected to devices and you want to have a break, so you go to such a remote place and then you're getting internet again.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
That's
so,
exactly.
so we keep on going into that.
So
So
so remote areas will not be remote anymore.
exactly, yeah,
exactly.
loses the meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but uh, I have seen, and I'm not kidding, I have seen a lot of hotels in this particular remote areas in India. They market on this particular point that we have no Geo, no Airtel, no Vodafone networks. We have only Wi-Fi for 15 minutes in a day,
Oh my God.
and people pay for that. I mean,
People
the
select
yeah,
select
exactly.
select
People
that.
who are looking to go to some place, like you said, Sumit, going to a remote place just to hang out away from the city life and everything.
Yeah,
Hotels have started to market this particular point.
my
10,
God.
15 years ago, I remember uh, it was considered to be a big thing. You don't have a network here. Oh my God, that's have you seen Swades? It's exact same thing. We don't have network here. What is internet? So
Oh,
it's like that. So 10, 15 years ago, it was considered, oh God, you are so not developed. You don't have a single cellular service here. And now it is exactly opposite. Now
yeah,
people ask for, do you get any signal here? If not, please take this money. I'm coming here.
yeah. I think Faraday cage hotels are going to be the next new thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's very much true.
Yeah.
because actually, and it's a strange thing. I mean, it's completely counter to what we are discussing right now. But communicate from communication standpoint, like I read an article yesterday that like not yesterday, but a couple of days ago about this teleportation.
Hmm.
So communication is, I mean, people are still trying to minimize the communication time over here.
Yeah.
So there's this professor from Northwestern University, and he sort of achieved data teleportation. I don't know
Mhm.
what he has used, but data teleportation over fiber optic cable and Ethernet. So again, the need of communication, people are still, or rather, we are still trying to, the mankind is still trying to minimize the communication time as
Latencies.
such. Yeah. So again, whether it's needed or not, that's a completely different. Uh, I mean, yes, it is practically practical thing to be thought upon, but maybe in some cases wherein there are critical applications or where there are critical scenarios wherein yes, instantaneous replies or instantaneous data logging is much necessary. I think uh, such communication speeds and such communication standards will be helpful
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
because yeah, because this particular this professor, they achieved
Can you pull out the news just
yeah, I
for
was
the,
about to do that. Yeah.
yeah, so people also can understand.
So it's crazy that something like teleportation. I was just reading that article and I was stunned. I mean, uh, we have only seen or rather, we have only grasped the concept of teleportation in movies or in some sort of so in television or something of that kind. But I was stunned to see that this particular person has achieved it. Yeah. So um, let me just go to, I don't know. Again, it's a lot of physics involved here. So maybe Anish, if you know something about this, you can help us.
Yeah.
But like I said, they have achieved this 30-kilometer teleportation uh, on a fiber optic cable.
And a live traffic. It is not
Yeah,
the test
Yeah.
route
it
or something.
isolated. Yeah, it was not isolated. So it was live when we all were communicating, or rather, the world was communicating with each other.
Mhm.
So yeah, let me just read out here. The feat led by Prem Kumar of Northwestern University opens pathways to integrated quantum classical networks using existing infrastructure. So what they are coining the term, or rather they are explaining the term teleport, is that transfer of quantum states by destroying them at one point and recreating them at another, revolutionizing the transfer possibilities. So, Mr. India,
Sort of, yeah.
I would like to clear this, like for the audience,
yeah,
I would say
please.
definitely that when we speak about teleportation, this sort of teleportation, this is only for, uh, modes of communication or data or information.
Yeah.
Information, okay. Teleportation for things, materialistic things, it's not possible
Yeah,
because you cannot just, for example, where they say that there are quantum states are destroyed and they are recreated at another point. Okay, this cannot be done because we live in a classical world and not a quantum. We are both those worlds are intertwined, but as far as on a larger scale, when we consider ourselves to be beings, we are not a part of the quantum world. So we cannot
yeah.
be destroyed at one state and be recreated at another state.
Yeah.
So
Should we add the word yet
no,
in the
no, no,
No, no.
it's just impossible.
Sure.
It's just impossible.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's sort of crazy. I mean, uh, and I personally feel rather let's just walk through first in through this
Yeah,
article so that we don't miss out on any of the information here. Uh, okay. Again, it's too much physics for me to understand. Decoherence,
it's
okay,
too
it's too
technical.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too technical. Photons and again, let's not get bored. Oh yeah, Microsoft Office with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this marks as the first successful, like Anish you said, quantum teleportation alongside actual internet traffic. Uh, what are they trying to say? Okay. Classical data streams can coexist, eliminating the need of separate infrastructure. So this is, I think, very important because what I'm getting just by reading this is that we there is no specific additional infrastructure upgrade required for teleportation or to just achieve this particular concept, which is a good cost saver,
Yeah.
is what I feel. So I don't know what exactly mechanism will they be using in the back end, but again, that's a point to just take a note of. But yeah, again, possible uh, implementation sites will be encryption, sensing, computing, network securely, whatever it is. So again, communication between two particular entities would be
Yeah.
much easier.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
this
see,
would also have great medical applications.
exactly. Yeah, I was about to say that
Yeah.
Yeah,
because yeah,
oh yeah, I just had another question. Like, since if this is deployed somewhere in the future, if we are, enhancing the communication medium between computers, could this something like this be deployed, to make the computers even more faster? Like, the now, as we know that the CPUs and GPUs are getting much better day by day,
yeah,
and we are, sometimes limited by, say, the physical medium they have between interconnections, and one speed doesn't match up with the other speed. So if we have something like this, um, could they, communicate more effectively? Could this be deployed to, say, something like consumer products?
Yeah, I think so. We have to deep down. This is just kind of a primary thing right now,
Hmm.
what
yeah.
they have discovered. But the use cases and application of this particular thing will take time to discover. So it is not like that. They have just experimented this uh, to be sure of something else might be. So
But uh, like I just had this thought randomly out of my head, on top of my head, that from when you said we can implement this for faster communication between two computers, I was thinking about this
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT?
exactly, communication between the models. I mean, uh just imagine the amount of speed reduction we can have in this chat GPT responses.
overall AI responses, basically.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I don't know how practical this particular is, but it's just a random thought. I mean, yes, it can be. This might be possible. This might be
Yeah.
possible. So that's insane, actually.
Yeah. As
Okay.
I said, we have to check what exactly to be achieved with
Yeah,
this.
it's just we can say at this particular point in the timeline, this is just a stepping stone and a milestone, definitely.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mohit, you are into audio visuals and again communication. Uh, Imagine your displays are being wirelessly mirrored using this technology.
Uh, yeah, but it is already there, so you can actually do that as of
Oh, is
now
it?
as well. Yes. But of course, it depend on various things like what exactly the data you wanted to transport. That is the major part because I don't think so it will be used useful for this particular application. Uh, it will be much bigger data
Yeah.
exchange. It will not be a very small amount of data which get exchanged with this particular technology. But because we are saying right now it is based on the experiment that held on the normal network traffic, but we struggle in day-to-day life also with the network right now at
Yeah.
some point of time. So to apply this particular thing in our day-to-day life will be very difficult.
Hmm.
But 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 particular application or particular data exchange can be done through this, and I think so. This that is there for that reason only. It is not useful for the consumer level application as of now,
Yeah.
and they cannot think about it later in stage also.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
think it will be expensive affair
Very
Yeah,
expensive.
Yeah.
yeah,
because just to perform all this for the consumer daily needs, that is
Yeah.
also. But secondly, right now where while you were talking, I was just thinking, what if we are able to communicate with someone who is on Antarctica?
Yeah. For a different time zone, you are saying basically with the longer distance.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Because I don't know how communication works with Antarctica as of now. I have no clue. But I have not seen in any of the single images from Antarctica or from any of the researchers. I don't see any cell phone towers there.
Mhm.
You also have to consider that this communication that they performed that was used using fiber optic cables.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we'll probably need
Good
fiber
point.
optic cables all the way from a specific region to
yeah,
Antarctica to
Yeah.
have that communication.
yeah. That is also true.
So
Yeah.
Or maybe they can use Starlink over there.
Yeah.
That actually clears the whole purpose of Starlink, right?
yeah.
Starlink in Antarctica.
But then
They
again,
might be.
you're still dependent on satellite communication somewhere.
Yeah,
So that we have not achieved that those speeds for satellite communications.
Mhm.
And I don't think those, I mean, till not in the near future, I see us reaching that milestone so
Mm,
yeah,
easily.
yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Okay. So that actually was an interesting topic.
I was just saying that, bye guys, it was really great meeting you and discussing with you. It was fun, but I have to catch up. I have to
Yeah,
leave.
sure.
So yeah, I'll see you
No
guys.
problem. Carry on. Thank you
Sure.
so much.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much
Had
for
so much fun.
inviting me. It was fun.
Yeah.
Bye.
Actually, it's really good. And actually, firstly, thanks a lot because it was really an impulsive decision for us to include you in our discussion.
No, but
So
it was
thanks
fun.
for joining at such a short
Short
notice.
notice.
Thank you
Yes.
for
Yeah.
having me. It was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Totally.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Likewise. Bye
Bye.
bye. Good
See
See
day.
you.
you. See
Bye
you.
bye.
Good day.
So I'll jump back into the topic of that quantum teleportation that we just saw, data teleportation. And I remember asking this if we could, consider applying this for the consumer market and everything. But, every day the processors as well as the GPUs in every computer is getting faster day by day.
Yeah, yeah.
And recently, I saw this article where the manufacturing process for the processors is going to be changing quite a bit. So now major powerhouses such as TSMC, Intel, Samsung, these manufacturers are going to be reducing the transistor size even more. So what I just read was TSMC is going to introduce the 2 nanometer manufacturing process for the processors. I'll quickly bring up this article I saw. Just give me a sec.
So
Um,
it's a big jump from 4nm to 2nm.
exactly. And it's going to be quite a jump. So, yeah, here we can see that TSMC, Intel, Samsung gear up for the 2nm chip battle in 2025. Yeah, big players. And considering that these semiconductor guys provide the most IC processors, we could see quite a lot of change. So, like we saw that uh, in a few years, we've jumped from 7 nm, 4 nm, 3 nm. Now we're jumping into the
Yeah.
2 nanometer process. I was just casually checking out, like the laptop I own has a 7 nm technology. And I also looked into the processor of my older desktop. It had 14 nm, and I was so impressed that damn, it's like that's literally half, the size of a transistor, the
So,
gap
sorry,
between.
sorry to cut you in, but is the NM stands for nanometer?
Yeah, it stands for nanometer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this process, to put it very simple, we have transistors in our processors, and the
Yeah,
distance between these transistors is what changes. Like it used to be 14 nanometers, now it's 7 nanometers. I remember a few years ago, there's this big articles going everywhere, like we are jumping down to 5 nm, jumping down to 4 nm, how hard that is, because not to get technical into it, but electrons jump around a lot, and that becomes tougher for manufacturers to go smaller. Now, coming to this, actually, TSMC, big player, is going for a 2 nm chipset process. So, the I think so. The Apple's new chipsets will be using the 2 nm process.
2 nm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like we know that Apple, Samsung, these are the prime players who always have, or even Intel for that matter, in the consumer space. These three are always going to be the big names having the fastest new technology. And checking out that new Apple iPhones are coming out, and their own, their own processors are going to be much more faster now. Um,
Can I interrupt?
no,
So
please,
have
please.
you? It's just a news that Intel is now in trouble. So
Oh, is
they're
it?
as a yeah. So Intel is failing with their business standpoints
My
because of the opponents or the basically competitions that they have
Is
in
it
the
NVIDIA?
several domains. Yes. So it
God.
is Nvidia, their prime client, which is Apple, was the prime client. So they are started making their own chips. Nvidia is now tying up with the ARM manufacturer for
Mhm,
their GPUs, and they are coming up with their own thing for the
mhm,
AIs basically. So the
That's insane.
Intel's yeah, so the Intel's what you can say supremacy is in trouble. So I saw in the news also they are regaining and they are trying to get it done with the 1.8 nm as well next year. So it is in the news. So I just saw that and I was just thinking about the Intels because they were failing. They failed in the like consumer market for the mobile phones like cell phones, smartphones back in days. Like they try hard to get into that, but Qualcomm has done a fantastic job and give us various type of chips as well as Samsung. And now, so I don't know what exactly will be the future of the Intel. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
So,
God.
Mohit,
Yeah.
you just said, like, I'm just surfing for some financial articles. They have already laid off 15% of their workforce.
My God. That's quite a
Exactly.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
So, there's an article which says Intel saw a cash flow of 10 billion or more per year by
Yeah.
2022. That had turned negative and it has only gotten worse over the past 2 years. So it's particularly from 2022 to 2024.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
So because Intel's uh, was able to give their own manufacturing facilities to the other uh, manufacturers like
Hmm.
Nvidia's and others also. So they used to manufacture their chips into their facilities.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this right now, the scenario, what exactly it is. But they're failing on all the fronts. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like
It's
to
insane.
yeah, it's actually insane. If they don't get this, like we see here in this article itself, like they are trying to
Yes.
introduce its 1.8 nanometer process, and if they don't have their own stuff going on with this process, I think it's going to be really tough because I was just looking at a few, laptops in general. I was recommending a friend, and I saw this that Intel brought this Ultra series of lineup or something, which is like
Yeah.
a low power, high performance thing. It still has massive like competition when it comes to laptops which use Qualcomm chipsets because I've been seeing
For the
those.
notebooks,
Lot.
basically.
Yeah, the notebooks because uh so Qualcomm has like good experience from the mobile smartphone manufacturers
Yeah.
perspective, and bringing that low power thing into the modern
Yeah.
notebook scenario is they're just going to kill it. Like the only thing, like the compatibility issues are the only thing that limit them from being, mainstream. But apart from that, I think if Intel doesn't really step up the game in the power, performance, everything
Correct.
ratio, I think it's going to be really tough for them. I specifically see this like this is a random key point I put forward. Like my laptop specs when I was mentioning the 7nm process and everything. I saw that its TDP is 45 watts, so it consumes like about 45 watts and gives a certain performance. I'm not going into benchmarks or anything right now,
Yeah.
but the modern laptops they have, because at work I have this laptop which has that 4nm process Intel chipset, and it consumes like 15 watts of power, which is like one third of what my laptop does,
Mm.
and gives me about or better performance than my laptop does now. And it's quite slimmer and everything, so it's a notebook laptop. I've been seeing this trend quite a lot where the TDPs have been going lesser and lesser. The power consumed by the processors is going less, far less compared to, say, laptops that were just like 2 3 years old. And you see this is because the process for making the processors is changing, like coming down from 7nm to 4nm makes such a difference. Imagine, I mean, I'm no mathematician, but it's like exponentially power savings thing. So
Yeah.
if even if you drop down from 3nm to 1.8, like Intel is trying to, I think there will be lot of power savings and performance improvements as well. So if Intel has to step up their game, they really have to step up their game. But coming to this, processors and power savings and phones specifically, I want to ask this. Like speaking of Apple and stuff like that, I think there are quite a few things going on in the smartphone scenario as well. Am I right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just read the news about the USB-C as well.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
true.
so,
Can you share more?
Sumedh, I think so. You can pull up the news, that article.
Oh yeah, sure,
So,
sure, sure.
so I think so. It is now the new standard in the EU for the USB-C.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we say goodbye to the other
Yes.
problematic chargers.
yeah.
Correct.
No more proprietary stuff, Apple, for
Yeah.
Yeah,
you.
no more proprietary
So,
things. You started the whole thing, right? Yeah, because we can see the TLDR here,
Yeah.
and that is something that's going to be really helpful here. But I know that EU is the one who really stepped up the game for making, a standardized charging system for here. Like
overall
Yeah.
consumer experience.
exactly on a
Yeah,
consumer.
I second that thought because even I remember at the time of data privacy acts, EU was the first one to step up against WhatsApp. And
Yeah,
back in 2021, it's just a small detour, but back in 2021, WhatsApp had their policies, privacy policies being updated, wherein everyone, WhatsApp was WhatsApp had an access over to each and everything which we do in WhatsApp. So European Union, basically EU is European Union. They stepped up against WhatsApp and they said, you know what, we are not going to follow this. If you want your customers in Europe to use your services, we want the terms changed as per our requirements.
yeah,
So that is so yes, EU has been stepping up for their customers, and when it comes to privacy or standardization. And I think USB-C is one of the part. It's been going on for a couple of years now. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And
I also I remember uh, EU was, this happened I think 1 or 2 years ago, and Apple was very much against it, that what, we are not going to do this and do that. But I mean, come on, Apple.
exactly, because I specifically remember quite a few what do you say, media houses specifically talking about the issues that Apple has had with the consumer market. Because you're a big player in the consumer market, like every other person owns one of the products you sell. But in the end, you are not able to service these products unless we come to you. And that kind of monopoly structure is, quite damaging. Because I remember having this conversation with a few colleagues of mine as well. Because owning an iPhone has become a status symbol here in India, at least.
Yeah.
And it is not, like a very cheap product either. So you spend quite a lot of money. And then what happens is sometimes it breaks. Yeah, things break, they break all the time. And you go to get it fixed. But no, hey, wait, just because you are a authorized seller, that's the only guy who can fix your phone. And it has become so proprietary that, say, if I'm in such a situation where I need a phone, and for example, use such a phone, it breaks down, and I want to get it fixed and running so I can do some important work to contact somebody, and I can't get it done because, hey, wait, you're not authorized to do so. Some phone guy who can fix my
Yeah,
phone cannot do that because, wait, these proprietary laws are actually stopping me from doing so, is going to be really tough. Okay, now if I
yeah.
can't get my phone service, yeah, I miss out on some important things that it's going to cause me a lot of issues. And if you see, like, a few guys even ran some experiment. I'm just going off topic just for a bit, but some guys really ran like a few experiments where they brought two really new iPhones, unboxed them, live, unscrewed everything, just swapped the camera modules with each other, and the whole thing broke down. Those Apple phones were not able to boot up again. Okay, they were so slow and pathetic that they had to swap it back again just to make it, work again. It is so proprietary that even if you change like a module that is broken, you have to specifically go inside the software with trusted things, and
Mm-hmm.
those authorized people do that, and that
Yeah, but
causes these issues. And
yeah.
since EU is taking up the charge, okay, no, our people want standardized stuff, you should get standardized stuff, okay? Not because you're a big player, you decide what's going on. No, you have to stay with the standard stuff. So they're bringing the USB Type C as the standard. There's a big play, and I like kudos. Like, yeah, love that.
Actually, that's the whole reason of going proprietary stuff.
Hmm.
Because if I don't, I think many of our viewers might have remember, or rather recollect this, that the first ever, earlier we had headphone jacks for audios.
Yeah.
So the only reason why Apple removed their headphone jack from their phone was because of money making tactics,
Yeah.
which is, particularly, they just removed the audio jack, and they said, you know what? These are our Lightning port enabled headphones.
Hmm.
So when you say, so now the proprietary stuff works in a crazy way. Proprietary stuff is that Lightning port has all the rights of Apple on it.
Yeah,
So we need, if I want to develop a product, I have to ask Apple that, hey, I want to develop certain product. May I use your Lightning port for my accessory?
yeah.
It might be a headphone or something else, or a charger, basically.
Hmm.
So every time I have to ask Apple in order to use anything which is related to their particular product.
Yeah.
So by eliminating headphone jack, so now headphone jack was completely open source and it was completely global thing.
Hmm.
So people used to buy any sets of headphones from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just plug it via headphone jack and everything was good. But by eliminating the headphone jack, now I am bound to go to Apple Store and purchase the Lightning port enabled headphones only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Sorry
am
to interrupt
paying.
you, but that reminds me the older days when Nokia tries this.
Yeah.
If you remember, the N series headsets or headphones were actually having the different connectors altogether,
Yes,
and
Yeah.
yes.
They
It
had.
and that
was
was
this connector,
proprietary.
right?
Yeah, exactly. The larger
With
one.
some pins. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Maybe we
so
can add an image over here, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Some.
that port was earlier, I think charging port, like same thing.
yes,
Charging port and
yes,
headphone audio out was in the same pin.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most probably. I think earlier phones used to have this very proprietary thing, but like a lot of years ago, like before EU stepped up for this, I think most of the manufacturers for like Android or other phones came to, let's use the standardized USB
Yeah.
one, and then let's switch to USB mini or micro USB, and then
Yes.
later USB-C that we see today. But if you
Yeah.
see this, sorry to put again, but I see this one statement, I think, which is very important. It means better charging technology, rather reduced e-waste. You see,
Yeah,
like,
that's much
this is
important.
going
Yeah.
to be like one of the best things because a lot of people buy phones. A lot of people keep upgrading phones like every few months to years as well.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that I know change phones a lot more often than, say, a regular guy might do. And this just creates like a ton of e-waste. Like, I've been on e-waste collection drives, and man, I gotta say, I've seen more phones as e-waste than being sold, and
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
quite
True.
scary if you ask me. Because, uh, and again, when when you see all these phones with very proprietary stuff, like you can't even reuse materials, specifically a few
Yeah.
things, and then
Also, I just remember that you said that it is Apple is just kind of a thing that is premium.
Mhm.
So the only premium buyers can actually use that particular phone. So now I think
Yeah.
so the audience is changed. The
Mhm.
Apple's target audience is more of the content creator, not
Correct.
not a premium business oriented people that will show off these things.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so I believe that with that standpoint also they wanted to check uh, because it should be available for the anyone and everyone. It is
Yeah,
not about just the person who has the money will actually go in and buy the iPhone. But hey, come on, now a college going student also has the iPhone.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
For what
oh,
reason I don't
you
know, but yeah, they have the iPhone.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good that you are saying college going student. I have seen many news, a guy who sells scrap material, Bangarwala as we call in here in India,
Yeah,
Yeah.
has also bought an iPhone. So yeah.
yeah,
I I would like to point this out because one of my workplaces, like the average developers used to have like standard phones,
yes.
just to call people and stuff like that. And the chai wala that used to come to our place, dude used to come on bicycles at times, but the guy had an iPhone, the
Yeah,
latest
I
one.
I believe because of the camera,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
believe.
It's
But
a status symbol after all.
there is a news on the camera front as well.
Ah, yeah, I think
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
So
think so. I'll share that one as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just coming in between, but before we jump on to cameras and stuff,
Uh-huh.
uh, just wanted to point out one thing related to USB-C. Just imagine the convenience. I mean, now laptops are also equipped with USB Type-C charging. So it's
yeah,
just you just carry one cable if you are traveling. Consider going through a security check at an airport. Consider you are traveling from point A to point B. You are carrying your laptop, two smartphones, two anything.
Yeah,
All of them they can be charged by USB-C cables. All you have to
exactly.
do is carry one charger, one cable, and you are good.
Exactly, yeah. And the best part about the C-type cables in the laptop specifically is they're Thunderbolt equipped. So you
Yeah,
directly connect over PCIe Express, and you get to connect. Like, remember a few years ago, uh, who I think it was. I keep forgetting. Yeah, it was Razer. Razer, the company who makes all those gaming specific things, they brought in this laptop, which was like a notebook during the day. And whenever you can go home and if you wanted to play like really super AAA demanding gaming titles on them, you can connect this external box with a GPU inside it via the Thunderbolt. And you could
Yeah,
just have the GPU connected to it as a
on the go,
dedicated resource
on the
and
go.
go at it, bang on. So it was like
Yeah.
a really good thing, and Thunderbolt is really changing the game. So C-type,
Yeah.
yeah, for the win.
So convenience standpoint, yes, USB Type C. We are now getting USB Type C hard disk, all sorts of devices. So yes, standardization is from convenience, it is very much convenient. You just
Yeah,
have to carry one charger and which charges your laptop, your phone, all your smartphones, your drones, power banks, everything.
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Coming to the
Coming to
cameras.
the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
camera standpoint, I think yeah, I got this. I'll just share it, and yep. So
500 megapixel camera. Wow.
yeah, that's quite insane. But I think the main thing here that's going on is the image sensors are
Hmm.
changing.
Yeah.
Now, from my limited knowledge, most of the phones, apart from the latest Samsung ones, have always used Sony image sensors, the IMX series sensors,
Yeah.
and Apple
Yeah.
has been doing that as well. So I think Samsung is going to be developing the new image sensor, which will be used in the iPhone as well. I think currently the S24 series has their in-house sensors as well.
Yes, in-house sensors. Yeah.
Yeah, so
The good question for Samsung is that you can upgrade to 500 megapixels or anything. That's completely fine. But will you stop using AI for your moon photos?
oh please, yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nonetheless, yeah.
So we see that Samsung's been known for producing a lot of camera sensors. Yeah, we know, but most of the times, wherever you go, Sony has always been the king. Now, coming
Yeah.
to the newer ones that Samsung will provide, and I think I'll say this like, uh, recently we had this discussion, Amogh. I remember that Pixels, the iPhones, and the Samsung top-end phones have always been the very camera-centric phones. And whenever you want like a very good camera, you always go for one of these three, right?
Correct.
And now that we know like Sony has been capturing the market for the sensors, I think this will be quite revolutionary if we see like the good cameras that Samsung has been producing are coming from their own sensors. So using that, if manufacturers such as Apple or even say Google for that matter, if they take on the newer sensors, there might be some really leaps and strides for the camera market as well. I think Amog, you can maybe give some inputs because you're the camera guy, I know.
Yeah, so Sony has always been a huge supplier when it comes to camera sensors because uh, a lot of DSLRs and now mirrorless cameras are equipped by Sony's sensors. So Nikon, or as people say Nikon, I don't know, whichever way you'd like to pronounce it. They normally use Sony's sensors in their cameras. Uh, Also, only exception is Canon because again, Canon is like Samsung of the DSLR or mirrorless market. They make their own technology. So, but yeah, I mean, Sony sensors are being in the market and used by a lot of phone manufacturers
Hmm.
since what? Since phones exist, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, but yeah, I don't know whether the Samsung's sensors would be reaching to that mark where Sony's sensors are right now.
Mhm,
So that needs to be looked upon. Secondly, I mean, they're saying iPhone 18 could use camera sensors by Samsung. So
mhm.
I think it's still not confirmed here that it's just a leak, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but um, from the company standpoint, yes, even Apple itself has seen a lot of manufacturer changes for their particular product lineup. Like I remember Samsung was the earlier LG was the display manufacturer
Yeah.
for Apple and Google. Later on, that changed to Samsung, and
Samsung.
now
Yeah.
Apple is making their own displays.
Yeah.
So again, based on uh like they call it Retina or some crap like that, but it's Super AMOLED beneath, which is made by Samsung. So yes, manufacturers keep on changing their suppliers. So, but from the standpoint of Samsung, Samsung is really looking into be an option for this in the supplier market. So now, uh, let's see, like as a Samsung as a supplier, Samsung was supplying, or rather, Samsung had started supplying their Exynos processors to other phones. So it was trying to be in a place that, hey, I'm an option for Qualcomm, or
Yeah.
hey, I'm an option for Apple.
Yeah.
So Samsung has always been in that frame. Also in terms of display. Yeah, Sumedh.
Yeah. So actually, I was going to say, like, judging Samsung as a company here from the few topics that we've been discussing, coming to the processor market, they have been providing Exynos for as an alternative to Qualcomm as well as Apple Bionic. And the fact that they are actually offering the manufacturing facilities to, actually make the processors, they're going to be quite, impactful. So one is that. Second is obviously the camera front. If these guys start becoming the suppliers for like the major manufacturers for their camera sensors, it's going to be quite, impactful again. And
Yeah,
like when we see like the new smartphones coming up, Samsung is always up there with the top of the line.
Yeah.
They are always a competition, and it's never has been key. Hey man, yeah, they have a top of the line phone, but it's not up to the par with the others. No, it has always been the forefront runner with the competition, made by an Apple phone, which is like a completely proprietary different environment altogether. But nonetheless, made by performance, made by camera performance, or anything else. And if you see, Samsung is not only just like a processor market or a smartphone market, they also tap into the memory as well, because most of
yeah,
the
yes.
RAM, like most of the RAMs that even the major manufacturers that sell, even like things like Corsair and everything, Crucial, anything, but the memory modules that they have on their RAM sticks is always a Samsung chip.
Yeah.
It's like
Also NVMe drives.
NVMe is, yeah.
correct,
Yeah,
exactly. For the memory, yeah. So NVMe, Samsung is like one of the biggest players in, tech world, I would say,
yeah.
rather than
So
just some smartphone.
earlier it was mostly like back in the days when I was a small kid, it was considered to be a completely home appliance company because
Yeah,
we had Samsung TVs, Samsung refrigerators, Samsung washing machines. So
yeah,
it was like they were in that particular home appliance space.
Yeah.
But
correct.
not that there were not many much phones by Samsung. There were a lot of phones made by Samsung. In fact, I remember Samsung Corbis, which
All
were
right.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
first capacitive type displays.
Yeah,
So even Duos, which was here in India, Duos was considered as the first ever dual SIM smartphone made by, or it just changed people's mind.
yeah,
So if you compare the 15 years or maybe 20 years timeline, Samsung has come a far way. I mean, changing their name tag from home appliance company to a electronic manufacturer and supplier. I
yeah,
think it's a huge leap
yeah,
in terms of Samsung. Yeah.
most definitely.
Okay. All right. That's it for today, I guess. And do let us know how you felt about our podcast, and we will come up with some great tech news. Hope you all enjoyed uh, a small, uh, bit nerdy, a bit casual discussion about technology and all the tech updates across the world. Do let us know what are your views, any suggestions, constructive criticism, constructive criticism
Criticism.
in the comments below. Please share this video with your friends, family, colleagues, kids, anyone from your friend circle or anyone who you know. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, Technically Nerds. Make sure to like this video and thanks a ton for watching. See you again.